Hello, V-Realm. This is to answer your questions about the fold lines and the snapping. And I'm not a master of folding, but I sure know how to apply the lines. And I'm going to draw something real simple to kind of represent your wing. And the best thing to do is to go into the help, the Phlatscript help, and familiarize yourself with the functions. Okay. So for creases and stuff, they're basically the fold tool and the centerline tool. And to tell you the truth, I'm not 100% sure. Um, I mean, they're very similar. So, okay, the fold tool basically cuts in percents of your foam depth. One problem is the foam depth because of the waviness of the foam. If you put in like 0.25, it really cuts 0.35. So when you put 50% in, depending on like how wavy your foam is, it might cut too deep or whatever. So you might want to enter the percent in by hand, but you can hit the D key here. It says, and you can toggle through this. And normally you can just leave it alone. Default, it'll be at 50%. And there's also a mold here where it gets rid of the tips of the lines. And the only reason I can think of using this, I'll show you later, is that it messes up the outside cut tool. If you have a line that's touching your, 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 your outline, I'll show you this later, that it messes that up. And you can switch with the W key. Okay, so the fold tool, um, okay, now you can see that it got rid of that tip there, and that's um, I think the other mode's called wide mode. This is normal mode. And if you hit W, you can see. Let me see this one. Okay, you see a toggle color. Okay, this would be the wide mode, and it would actually touch that line when you made the fold line, and that's probably bad because, well, I'll show you why. Because if I select it, if I got the outside cut and I try to select it, it won't select. See, this line touching it messes that up. Whereas this line here, you can see it doesn't mess it up at all. So that's why you would want to use the normal mode of the fold tool. Now it's okay, fold tool. So I want to switch it back to the pink line, and that's what I want. And then if I make an outside cut, okay, that all works out. Okay, zoom to extents, and if you generate the okay, if you generate this to G code, you'll see this is a full cut. All the way down to here is the full cut of the outside line, and here it's only cutting part way for the fold. So that's basically how it works. Um, okay, then you had the question about how you would do like a slot for carbon. Basically, there's two ways you can do it. If it's quarter of an inch foam and you have like a quarter-inch rod, you can pretty much just do an inside slot. And I'll do some construction lines with the tape measure tool. Type in a quarter of an inch, Oops. And basically, if you do an inside cut, that should do it, except for that'll be a through cut. If you were doing a thicker piece and you wanted a pocket, um, you could use a centerline tool, but there's no offset. Centerline tool also has depth of cut, so let's say you wanted to do that, you could do some calculating in your head and say, oh, well, I have an 1/8 inch tool, and I want to so you offset it yourself by a 1/16 of an inch. And then you draw your slot. Then you can use the centerline tool. Okay, you can see it says 50% right there. And if you generate the G code, okay, I didn't generate the outside cut, but let's do the outside cut too. Okay, so that would be a pocket. You can see it's higher than the outside cut, so that's 50%. This would do a pocket for you. That's 50% of the thickness of your foam. But like I said, you have to do the calculation yourself. Okay, so that's that. And like when you do like ailerons or hinges and stuff, people will do like multiple lines, and they'll use the fold tool, and they'll do like 50%, and then the other lines will do like 25%, and basically they get a V shape. So that's one thing you can do for like hinges. Um, okay, so let's talk about